we got to talk about Paul George. Paul George is unquestionably one of the most skilled players in the NBA, and he has been for a long time. He's 6'8", can handle the ball with the best of them, can shoot it, and is also a strong defender. There's not much he can't do on a basketball court. Some younger basketball fans even see him as one of the GOATs, solely based on his game. But most other people view him as an underachiever. While I definitely think it's ridiculous to call him the GOAT, I can see why people admire his game and want to pattern theirs after his. In regards to what he could have been, he certainly left some meat on the bone. Pause.
What? Strip.
Paul George never reached his full potential for a few reasons. One, he's not a natural leader. Two, early in his career, he played in the same conference as LeBron James. And three, he didn't go to the Lakers when he had the chance. You can tell that Paul George idolized Kobe and patterned his game after him, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have the Mamba mentality. Of course, I don't know him personally, but he doesn't come across as a crazy competitor who's obsessed with winning. The greatest players hate losing, and they take it personally.
That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
Paul George has always just seemed too comfortable and relaxed about losing, in my opinion. He's made excuses for his shortcomings that I believe could have shaped him into a champion if he just owned them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bad shot. I don't care what anybody says, that's a bad shot. But, hey, he made it. That story won't be told, that it was a bad shot. We live with that.
In addition to not being ultra competitive, he's just too comfortable playing second fiddle. When he was on the Pacers, he was the man, but as soon as he joined the Thunder, he willingly took a back seat to Russell Westbrook, who I believe he was a better player than. But because Russ has an alpha personality and Paul George doesn't, PG deferred to him, and they never achieved their ultimate goal of winning a championship. Then when he eventually got traded to the Clippers and teamed up with Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi was definitely the better and more accomplished player, but he was always hurt, and PG never seemed to be completely comfortable being the number one guy, and he even says so himself.
Listen, Kawhi is the number one, and I'm totally fine with that. I'll publicly say, I'm the two. Kawhi's the one, I'm the two.
That spotlight is just a little too bright for some guys, and if you don't got that dog in you, you got no chance against the best of the best. The truth is, he had his best chance to win a championship during his time in Indiana, but he kept running into prime LeBron and the Heatles. Right as, and even a little bit before Paul George was becoming a star, the league was transitioning from single superstar teams to the Big Three era. LeBron was already on the verge of being the best player in the league, and he took his talents to South Beach and teamed up with D-Wade and Chris Bosh. Although PG had some good performances and a few highlight plays against them, he and the Pacers could never get past that three-headed monster. I don't believe PG could have taken LeBron down even if he never joined the Heat, but he and the Pacers definitely weren't good enough to compete with the newly formed super team. PG was still very young, and they were at least another piece away from really contending. The hope was that Danny Granger was the other piece to the puzzle, but he was constantly hurt, and that just never panned out. So PG was left to go at it alone and couldn't get over the hump. At that point, it was up to him to recognize the landscape of the league and his standing in it and position himself accordingly, and he failed to do that. In 2018, PG fumbled his opportunity to sign with the Lakers and revive his career. He let his ego and his loyalty to Russell Westbrook stop him from making the best decision for him. The Lakers were the unquestioned favorites to land him that offseason, so it was shocking when he chose to re-sign with OKC. He later came out and said something about the Lakers not pursuing him enough or making him feel wanted, But I really think he just didn't have the guts to leave Russ high and dry. That decision would go on to cost him because he could have ended up playing alongside LeBron, who signed with the Lakers the next day. Him and LeBron would have been a deadly combination because LeBron loves playing with a ball handling scorer who can get his own shots like Kyrie Irving, who he had massive success with, and Paul George is basically a 6'8" version of him. The decision to not sign with the Lakers costed him a chance at maximizing his potential and totally changing his legacy. At the end of the day, Paul George's worst enemy is Paul George. He has the skill set of some of the greats, but not the mindset. On top of not having that obsessive personality, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time for a good portion of his career. It also didn't help that he shot himself in the foot with some of the choices he made along the way. We all know what Paul George is, but we can only wonder what he could have been.